Hey everyone, it is the Renties of Houston.
Hey.
We thought we'd jump on here and do a little video to explain to everybody what our why is in this whole eating healthy, going plant-based businesses. It was kind of brought to our attention today that we really don't discuss it very much. We just kind of jumped right into it.
Yeah.
And so we thought about that, and we're like, well, maybe we should talk about why we're doing this. I mean,
Give it the breakdown.
right, eating healthy, you really shouldn't have to explain why you want to eat healthy. But I would say at this stage of life and after eating pretty much any way we wanted all this time, why now?
Yeah.
What is it about now? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, and plus, there are several ways that people consider eating healthy, and we chose plant-based, which may be considered on the extreme or without a fringe. So a lot of people may want to know.
Yeah, oddly enough that would be considered that way. But anyway, so I have a surprise for you.
Oh, okay.
Well, not really a big surprise. What I did is I kind of thought about it a little bit. And I came up with a few questions, basic questions. So I've already wrote down my answers because I'm the one that thought of the questions.
Okay.
But I'll discuss, my answers with you. But
Okay.
I also want to kind of get your answers on this.
Okay.
So the first thing I would say is why switch to a plant-based diet?
Why switch to a plant-based diet? There are several reasons why. I think the main reason for me is that it seemed like the most effective way to go as far as weight loss. And then it also seemed like the most logical choice when it came to because one thing, I'm 55, and I do have high blood pressure. It's a little slightly elevated. I mean, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure by my doctor, and then my blood pressure is kept under control using medication. And everything I've seen, it seemed like going plant-based was the best way to not only bring the blood pressure under control, but to make it a non-factor. That plus making sure I'm not diabetic, and also probably help with the asthma. So it seemed that processed foods and meats and all that seemed to contribute to my condition.
Okay. Good answer.
Okay, yay! Ding!
That's a really good answer, and it's an honest answer. Basically my answer was I switched because I believe that fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes are healthier than meat. And
see how she had that concise, prepared response, and
because I wrote it down.
I just rambled for like a minute, and blah 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 blah.
No, but you know what? Okay, so so in all honesty, this is what happened. I was watching a YouTube video.
Okay.
And someone on there had mentioned that they had been dealing with some health issues of their own, and a loved one of theirs told them about this video called What the Health, and that they thought they should watch it and get some information about it and see if that would help them with their health issues. So I Googled What the Health. I had never heard of it. And so I found the video online and I started watching it. Within 10 minutes, I stopped the video. I went and told PJ, I'm like, okay, when you get off work, I'd like us to watch this whole thing. It was about an hour and a half long, I think.
Yeah.
And so we watched the whole thing later that night. And really all I can tell you is the information that we learned about and the stuff that's out there that we just paid no attention to, but it was really right in our face all this time.
Yeah.
We decided, we've got to make some changes.
Yeah.
We've got to make some serious changes. And so that's really what kind of got the whole ball rolling right there. So for anyone that's interested, I would say, go on YouTube. That's where we found it. And it's called What the Health. And it's a documentary. And it's very insightful. Very much so. Okay. So you ready for the next question?
Bring it on.
All right. So what makes you nervous about changing the way that you eat?
Good question. I'm not sure if it's necessarily being nervous.
Okay.
I'm in for trying some new foods. I think my biggest concern is when it comes down to the holidays. All of the foods that I truly enjoyed. I really not that I can't enjoy them anymore, but being that I'm taking such a huge step away from them, trying to go back would bring some adverse effects to my body and my gastrointestinal system.
Yeah.
And then that would affect the rest of the house and probably the plumbing.
TMI.
But yeah, that's probably my biggest concern is holiday eating. But I'm also looking forward to that because chances are I won't gain 10, 15 pounds over the holidays.
No. So, that's interesting because I kind of had the same feeling on that. I think when you talk about changing your eating, that's the first thing people think about. Well, what are we gonna do for Christmas? Or what's Thanksgiving what the menu's gonna be like for Thanksgiving? And what about birthdays and Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July and family barbecues? What do all those things look like? And at first you just don't have an answer. You're like, I don't know. We're trying to figure this thing out. But the more we get into it and the more we learn, we kind of, we begin to figure things out. And it's really not as bad as people might think.
Right.
What did I put on here? I put on here, trying new foods because I'm kind of finicky. I've always been that way. The taste. Am I going to like the taste of some of these new foods that I should be eating? The texture. Sometimes there's a texture change and you're like, I don't like the way this. And then of course back to the traditions and the routines, having to change that. And but in the long run, would you say that it's worth it to change things or change unnecessary or unhealthy habits?
Definitely.
Okay.
I want to be around for grandkids. And not only do I want to be around for grandkids, I don't want the grandkids to have to help me up and grandpa can't run because he's because his legs won't support him and all that. And so I want to be around, but I want to be healthy.
That's a good point because people, when you talk about changing your diet and you're talking with other people about it and you say, oh, you shouldn't eat that, or they'll say stuff like, well, you know what, I'm old, I've been eating it all this time, my parents ate it, and whatever, and you gotta die of something. And my take on that is, well, who said you're gonna die?
Right.
You don't have to die. You might just be severely impaired to where you can't live a life the way you want to because you can't walk or who knows,
a greatly diminished quality of life.
So it's not just about living and dying. I mean, you want to be healthy. If you're going to be here, you want to be here 100%.
I mean, I've seen people who dealt with heart attacks and strokes and diabetic comas and get amputations. And the more and more I looked at it, the more and more I learned, most of it is linked to diet. And I've never had a heart attack. I don't ever want a heart attack. I don't know anyone who wants one, but if changing my diet will lessen my chances, then I think it's worth it. Absolutely.
And we have a good medical system here in this country. However, I think they're more reactive. When you get a disease, when something happens, then they know how to give you what medications to give you to help you with that. But there's not a whole lot of talk about how you can prevent getting it in the first place. And but that's a whole nother issue. It's a topic for another day, or not. I've also found that during all this looking into eating healthier and stuff, it's very controversial. You have a lot of people that are even argumentative over over changing their diet, and it's really, it's amazing. Yeah. Has that been your experience?
A little bit.
Or you just keep it to yourself?
Yeah, I pretty much keep it to myself. Yeah. But I think because, especially when you use the word vegan, it brings up political stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing, if you want to live long, don't try to discuss politics and religion with people.
Or veganism.
Yeah, or veganism now, I mean, because I used to do that. I used to be on Facebook and stuff, and then people would try, challenge me. Let's talk about this. And I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't need this kind of stress in my life.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I just, do what's best for you.
Yes.
And then go from there. But definitely try to eat healthier.
Yes.
We're getting in that age group now where a lot of changes start to occur in people's lives. And I don't want to be on that other side of 50 where you can barely get around anymore.
Right.
Or you got to go to the hospital and have heart surgeries and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, I don't either, And then also when we talk about our health, there's also tied to that vegan diet is animal welfare. And even though that wasn't our primary concern, it can be a concern to people who switch to a plant-based diet or vegan. I think the big thing between a plant-based diet and vegan is that when you go plant-based, that's pretty much concerned with what you consume. A lot of times when people talk about going vegan, in addition to eating plant-based, they don't consume things, they don't wear things, anything that affects the welfare of an animal in their lives, they abstain from.
Right.
And we're not to that extreme.
Right. Again, I don't want to go too deep down that hole because somebody will have something to say about that.
Yeah.
People always got something to say about something. But, at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. And we do basically, we are pursuing basically a vegan lifestyle, minus the picket signs and all that stuff. We're not trying to do that. But I just truly believe that God gave us everything that we need to eat and sustain our bodies when He created the earth. Yeah. And so, and the animals got their own share of food to eat. So, I don't need to be eating them. So, anyway.
There you go.
Just like I don't want them to eat me. No.
Right.
Anyway. Anyway.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Right. Okay, so what kind of changes are you looking forward to with this new way of eating?
I am looking to a fit body, and I'm looking at longevity, a longer life. Excuse me, a longer lifespan with a higher quality of life, and to be able to do things like go running. I mean, I can do that now, but it's like run the end of the block and then come home and take 5 Advil to for the pain and all that stuff. But yeah, definitely better shape and longevity with a higher quality of life and being able to be more active.
Good. That's exactly the same thing I'm looking forward to. What did I put on here? I wrote down improved health, lower cholesterol numbers, lower blood sugar, lower blood pressure, and weight loss. And I have to say, I thank God that I don't have any issues.
Right.
I'm not on any medication. Praise God for that. But there are times when the doctor will say, well, this number is slightly elevated. You might want to watch that, and this number here and all that. I want to be rid of all that. I don't want my numbers to be anywhere near the threshold. I want them to be so far below,
Right.
Any of that there's not even an issue at all. And so, why wait until the numbers are over
Yeah.
where they're supposed to be like, oh, time to get that prescription written out for you.
Yeah.
We don't want that. So that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to. And,
Exactly.
And one thing we did do though, remember, I don't have high blood pressure, but we did take my blood pressure,
Yes.
and yours too.
Yes.
And we noticed that from my last doctor's visit, this is just during the first week of our detox, my blood pressure had already reduced.
Yes.
It had already gone down. I don't recall the exact difference, but it was significantly lower than what it was
Yes.
on my last doctor's visit.
Yes. My blood pressure is as low as it's ever been since November 21.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It isn't as low as it's ever been, period.
But since 2021.
Yeah, since late 2021,
Yeah.
it's at an all-time low, and that's awesome.
And that's not coincidental. It's all tied to what we eat.
Yes.
And so those are pretty much the reasons why we switched to plant-based.
Yes.
Why we just want to really get more involved in our health, what we eat, and trying to make a difference in our bodies without medication.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't want to use medication to regulate things.
Yes.
We don't need to do that.
Yes. The cures are out there. The cures are still out there for a lot of the things that ails us, and a lot of it is preventative. And so if we can prevent stuff as well as treat some existing conditions just by changing our diet, that's a no-brainer for me.
Absolutely.
It's the problem is that a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to give up this, I don't want to give up that. Well, would you rather give up that, or would you rather give up a foot?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
It's like, I want this thing, but it's going to cost you a foot or arm and a leg.
Oh my gosh.
Or would you rather, would you rather keep eating your burgers and fries, or would you rather be on the ventilator?
I know, and you know what? I just want to say, I know those are some harsh things to say, and I know there might be some people out there dealing with those very issues right now, and they might think that's not funny, and we in no way are trying to make light of any of it. That's why we're changing our diet, and there's a lot of information that I just believe that the general public just doesn't know.
Yeah.
That if we only understood it, maybe we would make better choices, and maybe some of us wouldn't be in certain situations that we find ourselves in right now.
Right.
And
in no way are we trying to say that we're better than anyone out there that had decided to not make that choice. It's just some people just have to make the choice.
But the other thing I was going to say too is when it comes down to trying new foods, because you'll see out there in the stores now, there's so much vegan stuff out there. I mean, vegan burgers, vegan bacon, vegan, what are those?
Vegan ice cream.
Yeah, vegan ice cream. What are those? Vegan ribs.
Yeah.
It's like all kind of stuff. And some you have to do your research. Some of that stuff you may or may not want to eat. I don't know, but there's so many different options out there. And some people say, well, if you want to be a vegan so bad, why are you trying to make a burger? Why don't you just be happy with your fruits and vegetables? And and the thing is, if you can get a burger that's plant-based, that's healthy for you, then why not?
Yeah.
One
thing I used to say this to people, and I got it from a TV show I used to watch, and the person was like, if you call yourself being a vegetarian, then why are you eating imitation meat? Go and eat a salad or some fruit and all of that. All this imitation meat is nothing but prop food. But now I'm looking at this like you guys have seen us. Like we looked at our YouTube channel, you saw us that we tried the sofritas from a Chipotle. You just saw us do a Impossible Meat burger, and it was very good.
They're all soy based.
Yeah, all soy based. But the thing is that we decided that we're not gonna go out because our like at least my problem is that when it's time to eat, we don't have anything. Being that we're working all the time, we don't always have food prepared in the house. Well, it's easy to just go out, go to Whataburger, go to Chick-fil-A, and just grab something and come back and think you're going healthy because it's just chicken and instead of a burger. So every now and then you still want a burger, but why not try something that's plant-based that tastes just as good? Because that burger we had last night, that was awesome.
It was good, and again, we don't have to even explain ourselves to people. Really, it's just if I'd rather eat a burger made from plants that grew out of the ground versus killing something to eat it, then that's my choice to do that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure the cow appreciates that. So So it's all good, but I think that there'll be a lot of trying new foods, getting used to new textures, new tastes, which is sometimes a challenge for me because it takes me out of my comfort zone. It's really easy to keep eating the same thing over and over again, and then I'm just having to just stretch because I'm not a big vegetable person, but how can you be vegan and not like vegetables? So you have to kind of learn. It's a handful of vegetables I like. I can eat enough of the ones that I like to make it, but you might want to kind of expand that a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much why we chose to go this route, and we're excited about it.
Yes.
And so we decided that when we experience something new or something that we think people might be interested in, we'll put it on video and share it with you guys.
Yes, we're going to definitely bring you guys along on the journey.
Definitely.
And for those of you watching this on YouTube, and if you're not watching this on YouTube, you watch this on Facebook or Instagram, go to YouTube, find this video, find our channel, and please like, share, and
subscribe.
Please subscribe. And I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, that's all I have. So, we just wanted to, again, just check in with you and let you know what's going on with us. So, I guess that's it for today.
All right. That's it. Take care.